Hey, hello again. Welcome back. So, you have decided that you want to go ahead and you want to start carnivore. You want to start losing weight, but you don't know how to start. Well, I'm hoping that the information that I give in this video today hopefully will help you kind of start putting things together. So if you go back to my first video, I put a link in the description for Ken Berry's video about just carnivore, just overall how to start, what to do, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here as well. So one of the things that he talks about is the idea of transitioning over a couple of weeks. So that way you can work on, introducing more protein while at the same time starting to cut back on the carbs and the sugar. So now what I did was I just decided to just go, whole hog, no pun intended, and just from day one, just cut out all the stuff. But the information that I'm going to give here is based on the idea of the 2 weeks. So like I said, we want to start looking at, going away from the carbs and increasing the protein. So, so if you do this over 2 weeks, like what would that look like? So I've got a couple of ideas of what you can kind of do, maybe just to kind of get yourself thinking. So for the first one I have here is, let's say you make pasta and, and you've got it'd be like, spaghetti with meat, right? So rather than, cutting up the meat and throwing in the pasta and then just eating, if you eat the whole container or, you eat a lot of it. So what I was thinking was, make the pasta, right? However much you would normally make. But then maybe actually, make some meatballs that are, I don't know what that is, a couple inches in diameter or so. And maybe try to make, I don't know, 10 or 12 out of, whatever amount of meat that you have. Maybe cook those on the stove and then add that to the pasta, right? And maybe what you can do is, rather than eating the entire container, because believe me, I've done it many times, is maybe, put the pasta together, keep the meatballs separate, cut the pasta in half. You're not going to change anything yet. Just cut it in half, and then maybe take half of the meatballs and put half of it all away, right? Or even, you could even, keep more of the meat, of the meatballs, and maybe cook more later. I don't know how much you have available, but the idea is, rather than consuming all of it, let's try to get you to start looking at protein as, more of a, larger factor in your eating, rather than just something you just throw in because that's just what you've always done. And even if you don't ever, like if you just do like mac and cheese or something like that, and you don't, like me, I do mac and cheese, and I would cook up like a pound of hamburger and throw that. And this is before I ever did, carnivore or any of that. So maybe cook it all, and then cut it in half, but add protein. So here's an idea, like maybe for breakfast. So, here in the South, everybody loves their biscuits. I mean, it's just amazing how many places you go and just biscuits of all sizes. I mean, I've seen some like that. I've seen some that are just huge. Anyway. So, you have some eggs, maybe you have some sausage or bacon or something like that. So if you're going to make like the biscuit from scratch, and let's just say you normally just make, just a Mondo, like 5-inch diameter thing, maybe make it smaller. If you have hash browns or potatoes or something like that, maybe lessen the amount that you're going to cook. Again, we're not looking to make the change immediately on day one. I'm just trying to give you ideas of things to think about as you're preparing your food. Or if you have somebody preparing the food for you, just sit them down and say, look, this is what I want to do. I need to start making a change. I want to start heading towards, 100% carnivore, or as close to 100% as you can get. But you don't want to just go, you don't want to go for it immediately. You want to make, you want to make small changes till you get to the point where you've left the carbs and the sugars behind. Okay. So, and here's one more. So, when I used to live in California, I was living in an apartment, and there was a Round Table Pizza in the same driveway as the apartment complex that was bad. Anyway, like what I used to do is I would get like a large pizza, and their pizza was amazing. It doesn't look like it is now, but it was then. And then I would get like chicken wings, or I would get, something else. And yes, I would eat it all in one sitting, or as close to one sitting as my stomach would take. But anyway, I digress. So if you're going to, if you go to a place, or you're going to order that has, can do some sort of protein like chicken wings or something along those lines, my suggestion is get a smaller pizza, right? Rather than like an extra large or large, maybe go with a medium, but then maybe try to get, 10 or 15 or maybe even, 20 wings. I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money, I promise. Again, I'm just trying to make ideas of what we can do, things we can start incorporating more protein in. Okay? So that's, and one other thing. Okay, so I've got soda. So, or any kind of liquid that you're going to ingest that has calories in it. I will be honest with you. My name is Jeremy, and I'm addicted to sugar. It's very true. Just the other day, I had a couple dollars. I went to the local gas station right here where I live, and they have, I think it's like a 12-ounce bottle of Cherry Coke, and I bought one. And it was just somehow that addiction, that need just kicked in, and I literally had to scrounge up $1.50 to go get it. But, I had it, and I just moved on. So I'm not gonna sweat the fact that I had that. But what I wanted to suggest is if you're doing like, a 2 liter, like every time, regardless if it's diet or regular or whatever, try instead of the 2 liter, maybe try doing one of the 20-ounce bottles. You can buy, I think, like a 6-pack, or even the smaller ones, like the 12-ounce. I think you can buy like an 8-pack. Put them all in the fridge, let them get cold, and then just maybe try just doing one, or maybe even 2 at most. And it's gonna take willpower. It is. But I promise you, like the first time that you overcome and you tell yourself, no, I'm only going to have one of those, or I'm only going to have 2, and you don't go nuts, you're going to feel great about it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So maybe think about that. It's just, remember, we're trying to make small changes over a 2-week period till you get to the point where you can, turn your back on the carbs and the sugars. Now, it may take you longer, and that's absolutely fine, because what's going to happen is, and this just goes into the next note that I have is, once you stop, especially taking in, the soda, or you're getting away from the carbs and the sugars, you're probably, and I'm not saying everybody will, but you're probably going to go through some sort of withdrawal. It may be subtle. You may not even feel it. I think for me, honestly, I think the only sort of thing that came over me was the idea of, having a soda, and I would just go and buy the 20-ounce bottle, and see, again, in my head, I was thinking, well, I think if I just do that, I'll be okay. No, 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 no. It's gonna be there. You just got to work through it. You got to fight through it. And, and you may just get to the point, and I don't think it's going to be like to the point physically where you're going to be feeling sick. I think it's just going to be, it may be, it may be in the form of a headache. It may be that you're just at the point where you just really want to have it. And I don't know, maybe you get grumpy, maybe you get angry. I don't know, but just be ready for things that are going to tell you and say, hey, you better have one of these now. And maybe something else as far as like with soda, what I like to do is, I drink water, and like I told you, I think like in the last video, sometimes I drink too much, but regardless of that, what I love to do is, have water that is just frigid cold, almost to the point of getting frozen. I don't know. To me, there's just nothing better than very, very cold water when you take like a nice big drink and it just kicks in and freezes sort of like your insides. I don't know. To me, that feels great. And I don't know, maybe try doing that rather than just, getting, water, if you've got, like I have a Berkey filter, and maybe rather than just getting the water straight out of that, put it into a container, throw it in the fridge for 2, 3, 4 hours, let it get really cold. Maybe even put it into the freezer for a little bit and just kind of keep an eye on it. So it's just about to freeze, and you take it out and drink it, and it's just incredible. Yeah. And anyway, so I didn't mean to jump to that. I should have actually said that earlier. But anyway, if you fall, if you fail, don't give up. Do not give up. Just move on to the next meal. That's it. At many times in the past, in years past, if I stumbled, if I messed up, the rest of the day would be bad, and then I would give up then the next day. Well, I messed up yesterday, so I might as well just mess up today. No, don't do it. If you mess up, it's only a meal. It's only a meal. So get over it. If you're like halfway through, drinking something, or you're eating something, and you kick and something kicks in, and you're like, oh, I can't do this. Just take a breath. If you can, whatever it is that you're consuming, see if you can put it away. If you can't, just finish it, throw the rest away, and move on. It is not worth you giving up, especially in the beginning. And so here's the next part, and I'm going to make this quick because I'm starting to push 15 minutes here, and I'm going to make this very, very quick, is biological. And you know what I'm talking about. Your body's going to be weird for the first few weeks, for the first month, especially when you're making these changes, especially when you finally get to the point where you've cut, all of the carbs and the sugars completely, and you're going just protein. Your body will know how to handle that much, much better than all the other stuff. But things are going to come out quickly. I think that's a nice way of putting it. So just be ready for that. And, and like for me, like what ends up happening with me is, like right now I am like, I'll eat breakfast like around 8. Today I just had a bunch of things to do. It's 9:40 at the time that I'm filming this. So I had breakfast not too long ago, and then I'll eat probably again at noon, 1 o'clock. And then for me, that's it. I just end up doing like intermittent fasting for the rest of the day. And then, like I said, I eat again, the next morning. That's not always the case. It just depends on how I'm feeling, around lunch. If I'm still feeling, pretty satisfied and full, I may just eat something smaller. I may not eat anything. Or there could be times when breakfast I didn't eat as much, so I'm starting to get hungry, and so I'll eat, eat a bunch of stuff, and and then I may not, or I may just eat a little bit, maybe just because that's all I have, and then I may eat something at night. I try not to because I like the intermittent fasting. I like the fact that I'm giving my body more of a chance to finish digesting everything rather than throwing a bunch of other stuff in, and then it's got to start over. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes here. And anyway, so I'm just going to wrap this up. But again, I just want to say one more time, you can do this. You can. Okay? And it is one day at a time. It is one meal at a time. That's it. Don't overthink it. Don't go crazy. You might want to start looking at what you can afford, as your, especially if you're just going to go day one and you're just going to just go for it. If you're buying a bunch of other things, you can start, budgeting that out and start looking at paying for more, meat and cheese and dairy kind of thing. But just think through it. Okay. And if you've got somebody that's cooking for you, that's preparing meals for you, just let them know what you're wanting to do. Have them, watch this video, watch, Ken Berry, watch some of the other people out there. I think Sean Baker's the other guy. See, that was the person that I got confused a few weeks ago. Anyway, just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I don't know how much I can communicate with you. We can certainly communicate through the comments. In the channel, I do have an email address, so if you want to reach out. Again, I am not a professional. I am not a doctor. I am just somebody who's been doing this for, 10 and a half weeks now. I'm feeling great. I was at 401 this morning. I'm almost there. I'm almost below 400. So hopefully by Saturday, I will hit that mark. But anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you for following. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see all of you on the next video. Take care.